This is Drew Pitzer with Home Team Sports TV, filling in for Josh Brown this week for the Chalk Talk presented by Home Team Sports TV. Today we have Coach Terry Ray from Washington High School joining us today. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
I appreciate you taking some time out to join us today. Obviously, you have a big time game coming up. Really, a big 2 weeks coming up for your program. How significant is it going to be if you could possibly win these next two games and find yourself hosting a home playoff game?
We're taking it 1 week at a time. We have Musselman tomorrow night. I know that they're a tough football team. We know they're young and they're a little bit struggling this year, but what we've seen on film is they can cause us problems if we're not locked in and ready to go. Next week, we'll get to next week when we're done Friday night and see what the outcome is tomorrow night.
Yeah, see, that's just our jobs. We're already anticipating such a huge matchup next week, which that's you kind of look at this game against Musselman as a possible trap game. I know some of your guys are probably already thinking about next week, but how do you keep your teams focused and motivated for a team like Musselman, who really not a lot of people are given a real chance to win?
That's one of the things we keep telling the kids. We got to take this week serious because we can't look past this week to next week. And we know what next week is. It's our rival game. But Coach Thomas has got a good football team. Those kids, his kids have gotten better as the years gone on.
Yeah.
When you see them on film, they could get us if we're not locked in and paying attention and communicating and know what we're supposed to be doing. They can cause a lot of problems for us. So we just keep telling the kids 1 week at a time. That's all it is. We want to be 1-0 each week.
Yeah, and like you said, Muslim they definitely offensively, I've seen a lot of progression from them. Defensively, obviously, is still kind of suspect in a way. But how do you plan to attack defensively, stating against Muslim kind of high tempo single wing offense? It's really unorthodox.
Uh, it starts from the beginning of the week. I was telling the radio station the other day, getting our scout team to run this offense the way that they run it is a little tough, but we got to read our keys. We can't like push stuff. We need to read our keys, let us stuff develop and get where we need to be. We need to be gap eight responsible against them. And we need to just be smart, be there, be square.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, it's not going to be as easy as a lot of people and spectators or think this is going to be a blowout. I mean, Musman, they were down 21-0 against Jefferson last week, and then all of a sudden it was 28-14 at half, and they were really competing up to about the fourth period. So it's definitely got a challenge on your hands. But obviously you have two pretty good quarterbacks, and Michael and Isaiah are from Musman originally. How are they looking forward to this game this week?
Uh, they've been normal. I know it means something to them, but they've made sure they've put that aside, and we've been worrying about it as a football team, not so much as a personal thing. Uh, I know both of them guys are excited to go back and play in front of everybody. But other than that, we've been trying to downplay a lot of stuff. We're trying to focus as a football team because we know what we have in order for the next 2 weeks, and then the third week in the playoffs.
For sure. And when you bring up playoffs, obviously that's just around the corner. Everybody gets in. I know you want to win these next two games, but your expectations going towards the playoffs, what are they?
We worry about 1 week at a time. I know the coaching staff, we're talking about stuff like that, but with the kids and the way we've been handling it, we need to take care of Musselman. Then we have Jefferson, and then we'll worry about where we fall and who we to play and have to worry about then. But we know we still have 2 more weeks, or should I say, 2 more games. We have tomorrow night and then the Jefferson game next Friday that we have to worry about before anything with playoffs. But the whole object with us is we need to keep improving each week because we still make mistakes and we got to keep getting better at stuff. But we take it 1 week at a time. I try not to get ahead of anything because when you get ahead of something, something ends up grabbing you in the butt or biting you in the butt later on.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you guys are sitting at 5-3. So can you share some of the improvement that you've seen from the start of the season into now?
We still have some communication breakdowns, but I think Michael's done really well at quarterback. Bray's shown a lot of improvement as this year's gone on as a sophomore quarterback, getting a bunch of reps. Our offensive line, it's been up and down a little bit, but those guys have gotten a lot better at communicating and picking up stuff as the year's gone on. Defensively, I can honestly tell you the studying in the film with our kids and them understanding what we're asking, what offenses are doing for us, has been a big improvement for us. And Josh Smith was our kicker, and he went down with a hip injury. And Kojo stepped up and
Yeah, he
is
did.
our kicking game tremendously in the last 3-4 weeks.
For sure. And like you said, I mean, I've seen a lot of growth from you guys, and I feel like we still haven't seen Washington at full strength. I mean, I think with the talent you guys have in your team, and dealing with Martinsburg and Spring Mills pretty much in consecutive weeks, I think that's going to help you guys become battle tested. And, I think it'll have you guys ready for these next 2 weeks. How is playing teams like, Martinsburg and Spring Mills going to catapult you guys, getting ready for the playoffs?
We told the kids when we went into that 3 week run with Spring Mills, the bye week, and then Martinsburg. I mean, you don't get very many opportunities in your regular season to end up playing the top two teams in state like back to back
Right.
like that. We're doing well, but I tell the kids all the time. I tell a lot of people we're in year two, so when we get to play teams like that, we get to see where we measure up. And we got to see where we have to get better and how we need to improve in order to compete with football teams like that. And we still make mistakes offensively. We turn the ball over and we get penalties in dumb spots. I mean, we move the ball and then for some odd reason we shoot ourselves in the foot. Defensively, we do really well, but then on third down we give up big plays. In order to play with them teams like Martinsburg and Spring Mills and stay in it for 4 quarters, we got to limit some of the little mistakes here and there. But playing those two and the opportunity to play those two teams like we do in the regular season helps us tremendously because now we know where we need to improve and get better to be able to compete with maybe them top 4 or 5 teams in the state.
For sure, and that's I kind of see the state, at least quad A, split up in about three tiers. I see tier one, there's top four teams who kind of separate themselves, especially Martinsburg and Spring Mills. They're kind of in an echelon of their own, and then I think like teams like you and Jefferson fall in that middle echelons. The teams that still are going to have a chance to compete every single night, but they don't have necessarily the record that those two others show. And then you got about 11 through 16 who's just fighting to show that they can compete, and that's where I think Musselman is. So I believe, if you guys do win out, you can get as high as 6. Is that correct?
If you mess around with the prognosticator on West Virginia tailgate, which I have guys on my staff do it constantly. You never know. It pans out on whoever else wins, who's getting bonus points and stuff.
Right.
At this point in juncture with us, and I've told the kids, I don't care where we end up, we're just going to have to go play. I mean, we're getting an opportunity to play in the postseason. We're getting another week. I mean, the goal would be to get to another week, but I'm taking it 1 week at a time. We know we're guaranteed 3 weeks. I don't really care where we fall in the playoffs. I just know we'll get that extra week of practice. That means that's an extra week with our underclassmen. It's one more week with my senior class, so we can just improve and get better as a team.
For sure, and I love that mentality. You're almost like a any place, any kind of wear type of guy, and that's those are the best type of coaches. At least as an athlete, you want to play for. So, and I just got a couple more questions for you. As you said, you guys can air it out. I would say you guys are a pretty explosive offense. What is one place of concern where you would really like to address before the playoffs start?
Look, we have some offensive line issues with communication. It's not that our kids can't do it. Like we practice great during the week, but then we get in the game, and you know how it is with high school kids, and I even do it sometimes. You just get that brain fog, and you
Yeah.
forget to make a call, and that one call lets somebody come clean, and it causes us issues. The biggest thing is our O line just getting better with communicating. I mean, I'm proud of those guys, and I think they step up every week and do a great job. But we just need to keep improving there.
Yeah, communication is definitely something that you've been harping on. And I know you've been kind of tough on your offensive line, but I think your offensive line truly has pieces. And actually, Coach Thomas was very highly complimenting of your offensive line. So I know that there's still some issues there. And that's going back to the conversation saying I still don't think we've seen Washington play their best game. And when you guys do, I think you're as dangerous as anybody in the state.
Yeah, I listen. My kids will tell you if you ever watch like have a conversation. We can win by 4 touchdowns, and I'll go into film on Saturday, and I will nitpick everybody. I'm really proud of our offense line. I thought where we started at the beginning of the year to now, we've made a lot of improvement with stuff. It's just again, and I'm harping the offense line because I love those guys because we spend a lot of time, and a lot of people don't know if I'm not down on the defensive side of the ball, I'm hanging out with the offensive line guys because I know at the end of the day, it all starts right there in the front and in the trenches with our offense and defensive line. So, I mean, but I pick on them and I push them. And yes, I'm very critical of them, and they know that. And it's just one mistake. My kids laugh because I always say I don't like offense because if one guy messes up, it just messes up everything.
For sure. And I guess we'll just do one more question for you, Coach Ray. What is one core value that you hope to be able to kind of shed on to your team?
I'm not worried about anybody. At any given day, we could play the best and compete with the best. I've never been one that's worried about playing somebody. I think on any day, if you go out and give everything you got, and these kids know that I coach my butt off 7, 8 days a week because I know there's only 7 days, but it
There's
seems
an
like I
extra
never
one
get
in
enough sleep. But I believe every week we can go in the game and we can win football games. I don't care who we're playing. I mean, we played Martinsburg and Spring Mills. I mean, and I still thought, and I still think to this day, if we play our best game, we can play with anybody in the state. And I think the kids understand that.
And that's good. And that's as a player, that's what you want from your coach. If your coach believes in you, then you're going to naturally start believing in yourself. So, I mean, Coach Ray, we really appreciate you hopping on today. I know you have a very busy schedule, and this next 2 or 3 weeks are going to be highly competitive, and I know you're gonna love every moment of it because I can just tell you just bleed, eat, sleep, breathe football. So I really appreciate you, Coach Ray, and good luck for your team tomorrow against Musselman. Hope everyone stays safe, and thank you again for joining the cast.
I appreciate it, guys. I thanks for everything you guys do.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was Coach Terry Ray from Washington High School, and I'm Drew Pitzer from Home Team Sports. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck to both teams tomorrow.